The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. 2 months ago, if you asked me if there was going to be a time where Proterra would go via SPAC, and I was so busy I didn't have time to look up the investor presentation, I would have laughed. I would have said, dude, it's Proterra. Of course I'm going to look it up, and I'm probably going to buy it day one. We've been so seasoned in this and so spoiled lately. I'm just getting so picky. But I've learned a lesson in the past week now, because now that I'm finally diving into Proterra, I know I could have gotten it way cheaper than it is now. But now diving in, I'm like, dude, if I would have dove in a little bit more to this thing, I would have already bought it. We're going to dive on in. I got to tell you all about it. Got some future catalysts that are probably maybe coming tomorrow with Biden. And then we got a great press release, and that's the reason I was looking it up yesterday. So I'll go over all that. Gonna wrap it up and fly through as fast as possible because a lot of it is pretty slapstick. Y'all might know it. But first of all, Proterra, I knew them as city buses, and that's it. I had no idea they had platforms for semi-trucks or kombatsu, tractors, last mile delivery vehicles, shuttle buses. I didn't know that. I thought they were literally just city buses. And that's one of the main reasons when it came out, and then I saw it popped like 20 right out the gate or something, 25 or something. I was like, I want Proterra, but it's hard to get excited about buses, right? But then I see all this other stuff they got. Not only that, they do the whole battery systems, which is crazy to me. I'm like, I thought they'd be getting it from China, and they still might. But it looks to me that they might be doing them in America. I can't find anything definitive on it. So I'm sure, like the rest of them, they're getting their cells from the big boys like Sanyo or Samsung or Panasonic, something like that. And then they're actually making their own physical packs here in America, which is cool. But they're definitely branding them all too. You can see they put the Proterra stamp on it. Not only that, look at this. They have SaaS, software as a service, so a monthly subscription to Apex software that they own. They are Apex software. So yeah, we're going to sell you the vehicle, and not only are you going to pay us a monthly payment on it, but now we're also going to charge you a monthly payment to use our software. Right? It tracks everything, the temperature of the cells and all sorts of crazy stuff. Great. Further down the line, they got chargers. Of course they got chargers. I didn't know that though. Why? Because I didn't spend the 10 minutes to look it up. I wish I would have known. But they have full-on charging system. They got smart charging capabilities where you can do the bi-directional power flow is what they're calling it, V2G. Can y'all name the company that supposedly has a patent on that? Let me know. How about PCS can be up to 500 feet from dispenser? So they got the whole microgrid thing. So CleanSpark could end up using Proterra's microgrid batteries instead of the PPSI stuff. That might be a good idea, because PPSI is pretty much of a joke of a company if you ask a lot of people. It's a company I've looked a lot into. Imagine if they started going with Proterra, because Proterra is a great name. It's well known, very well known. They've also got the wall, ceiling, and pedestal installations for telematics enabled for fleet batteries. So big fleet charging setup. So, you know, a school bus yard. Y'all seen them in big cities. They got like 100 or 300 school buses lined up. We're all going to hook each other up with some power. So past all that, you can see here, right now they still have the shuttles. So they're doing the shuttles, the city buses. They're doing the last mile delivery workhorse looking vans. School buses, which they're paired with Daimler Chrysler on, which I didn't know they did school buses either. I thought it was literally just these transit buses. Regardless, what are they showing? They're showing that they're only in a small addressable part of what they can get. What's next? The next one up is looking like a garbage truck. So we got an NGA competitor. Then we got the utility guys with the big boom that can poof people up. Fire trucks, tractors, semis. Awesome. I didn't know all that. They're comparing themselves to all the other bros and wannabe bros out there. A rival, Hyliion, Nikola, Romeo, and they're just saying they're blowing them out of the water, hands down. Revenue last year, $193 million. Only one that even had any money coming in was Romeo, and how much they had? 11 million. Proterra's also had a 10-year track record, which is massively monster. Past that, they're showing here that they've got the battery factories in America. Sure, they're building them in Los Angeles, California, Burlingame, California, and Greenville, South Carolina. Very, very interesting to me. They're showing, the cool thing is too, is they've already know exactly like how many vehicles they can pull out of them, how many buses, like the batteries are over here, the bus and batteries in Los Angeles, but the buses were just made in Greenville. I really like it. I like the energy storage play too. And see, I didn't know this. So Thomas built school buses. Thomas is a big, big brand. Begin delivery of the Proterra powered electric school buses in Virginia. So Virginia's getting them. Not only that, Mr. Chamath Palihapitiya is in this one. Here is his due diligence if you want to get into numbers, which none of us care about. Right? 1,000 plus vehicles sold representing 50% of market share. That is one big one I want to point out though. They've already sold 1,000 and they have 50% of the market so far. So this is like, to me, this is like the charge point, like the big bad boy charger of the big industrial vehicles. Like this is like a more mature, bigger NGA. Like NGA, their school buses are 100% custom. So those still definitely have a niche. I still love NGA, but these guys are still ahead, you know, still ahead in big numbers and all that. So here's the thing that got me reading about this, and thank God for the Patreon because we got a awesome group of different industries in there. We had several people that know tons of industry stuff about Komatsu. Okay, what's Komatsu? They're basically the big competitor to Cat tractors. Big Cat tractors, okay? And at first, I wasn't really happy about this. So Proterra and Komatsu announced a new collaboration to develop all-electric construction equipment. First, I'm like, cool, but it's Komatsu. Dude, we need Cat or John Deere. Why? Because Biden's doing the whole pro-America thing, like stuff has to be made here. It's going to get benefits if it's made here, supporting American jobs, all that. So at first I was like, dude, that's you know, it's in Japan, by the way. Komatsu is Japan, not China. I thought it was China. I got corrected on it too. Komatsu is coming from Japan, which is fine, but we're here to make money, and that's how my brain is thinking about this. But what I got let to know through this PR is, what's the partnership going to do? Basically, they're going to Proterra for the batteries. You know, at first I heard that, I'm like, how does Japan not know how to make their own batteries? How does Japan not? And my conclusion, after I thought about it, Japan knows how to make batteries. Proterra might be ahead of the game with more experience in industrial, let's call them battery setups, but dude, Japan, I mean, they're not dumb people. I mean, they can make their own batteries. I'm sure they can make one identical. My conclusion, it's for the partnership. It's for the actual partnership. So I think we're probably going to get maybe a couple more like ties or synergy runs together with them. Like they're going to go together on something. I don't know. There's something in the middle though that they're doing it for the handshake. Okay, this is a handshake play, which I'm totally cool with. I'm all for synergy runs. So now people can track the Komatsu name with Proterra. It's also going to give Komatsu more of the American appeal, which is great too. But then you can also think of like, one of the things that Biden is saying is like pro America, but he's also saying pro big world, big government stuff. So you can look at it both ways. It's also going to benefit Japan, but it'll also, you know, keep America rocking. And why? So again, I was thinking this was all Japan. I figured, I actually had a family member that worked for Cat for a long time. So, you know, growing up, I always thought Komatsu was a bad guy, because it was taking American jobs and it was pulling the money away from Cat. Of course, that's what I think, right? But check this out. So these are quotes from our insiders for our Patreon. So one of them said, I had worked for Komatsu until last year. It's out of Japan, but it's all over the world. About $40 billion company. It's catching up to Cat since the 1980s. So definitely it would be big for Proterra. They make thousands of loaders, excavators, and other equipment a year. I think in the future, Komatsu may buy out Proterra EV powertrain division, which they could. They are setting up $300 million facility in Milwaukee. That's in the United States as we speak. I don't know if that's 300 million square feet facility or something massive. In addition to their existing footprint in the States. Trended mining and construction equipment is moving towards EV, electronic vehicle / fuel cell powered machines. But usually that industry lags behind the automobile industry. So I think Komatsu wants to get a jump start into the game, which is cool. And I'm sure, I think that Proterra is probably smart enough. They didn't do like an exclusive deal with them, so they could get Cat or John Deere too. I think that those things would absolutely rip if they got one of those two. But also they said they have a big facility in Peoria, Arizona for mining dump trucks. Example, the 400-ton monsters. Those things are awesome. In Milwaukee, they make the big P&H mining shovels, which is quite ready to accept batteries. So he's saying that those are already ready to accept batteries, or fuel cell packs. So it's kind of a jump start for them. But in my opinion, it's just the start. It would at least take a few years in order to get the machines out with the EV powertrain. It's a very slow industry, and I can understand why. They're a huge manufacturer. I've been doing business. This is another person that said they're a huge manufacturer. I've been doing business with mining companies for 20 years. Komatsu is very well known in the industry. Behind Cat, they manufacture machines from scratch in Peoria, Longview, Texas. So you got Texas blood in here, Peoria, Arizona, and Chattanooga, Milwaukee, or Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm guessing Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Milwaukee, just to name a few of their locations. So that's big. See, again, I was thinking, oh, it's coming from Japan or something. I'm sure they just come on the boat fully assembled and they're just put them off. But no, they're like making a lot of the stuff here, which is fantastic. So we're going to get blue collar American people in this, because there's lots of, Komatsu's been around for a long time too. So if they've been here for decades, we're going to have some multi-lineage folks where their daddy and them have both worked for Komatsu. So that's great. You're going to get that real American blue blood in here. Yes, agree. Komatsu is number one in a few segments, like the mining shovel, coal mining machines, which would be big in India, China, and South Africa going forward. It's great information. Yep. Komatsu is huge. I used to be the audit team for their NA operation back in my public accounting days. This is very exciting. I jumped in with a few calls today on ACTC. That's the ticker, by the way. Do not expect it to run right away, but it is another big revenue stream for Proterra growing forward. It's great. That's the bell. Proterra wants to get into cell manufacturing as well as battery packs. Okay, so there's the answer to that question. So yeah, they're not making the cells, which is not a bad thing if you ask me. They're better off leaving that Samsung or whatever, at least until they totally figure it out. But they are making the packs. The battery packs are supposed to be industrial grade, whereas most wouldn't be good for this kind of machinery. And I can understand that, because I know a lot of them have like heating issues and all that. So, and I'm sure once the solid state stuff starts rolling out, we're hoping Quell's going to be the next QS. They can run a little bit cooler and more dense and all that. So I'm sure they're going to adapt. But to me, this is another one of those like kind of full circle things. Like, okay, we buy Proterra, we get charging, we get school buses, we get dump trucks, we get excavators now. You're getting the middleman play for like Clean Spark, the big battery storage, plus battery selling. I like this play because you get a lot in one. So tomorrow, Biden is supposed to talk again. Gonna lay out more plans. I feel like he's supposed to have done that like 2 or 3 times, but I've sat through 2 of them, and I think he's only named like 1 or 2 things. It's been just mainly like thing that's happened since March, so I kind of zone out. But if we can get him to name drop things like buses again or the charging stations, the stuff he was talking about when he was doing his speeches, if we can get him to say, what he was saying, like 350,000 charging stations, and then publicly have him say school buses or city buses, something like that. Again, we can get a pop from him saying any of those things. I'm digging this. I like it. I don't like I'm not in love with the entry price right now. I wouldn't call it bad though. I wouldn't call it good. I'd say it's decent. It's a decent entry. Why? Because we've already proven that we can hit $31. So we've already proven we can hit $31 because that's where we went to. All right. See that? We've already been to 31, and now it's on sale today for the low price of $24.50, and it looks like it's trying to consolidate. me likey. You know, of course, this could go back all the way to $10. I definitely don't see it unless we get a big old market correction. But you have all those ties. You have me and groups like me that have no idea they did all this other stuff until just now. So we're popping in today. You know, we're looking at this. I think more and more people are going to realize the big connection in this whole Komatsu thing is actually massive. Again, first I thought it was just an Asia play, but they're actually supporting a lot of American jobs with it too. So that's great. I mean, heck, a lot of, you know, American vehicles like Chevy and Ford and Dodge are made in Mexico or Canada or whatever. So I think I read something like 5 years ago where BMW was at one point producing more cars in America. I never checked on it, but it's just something to keep in mind nowadays. Just because it's American made doesn't really mean it's made here, right? What do you think? Are you guys already in this? Are you calling me crazy because you were already in the second we announced it that it was coming out? That's fine too. Congratulations. I'm just glad this isn't $50 yet before I dove in a little bit more. In this market, as long as we don't get a big correction, I think we're going to be totally fine. Like, it could definitely dip. Let's throw in another line. Like, it could definitely dip to about 22.50. You know, it could definitely dip to there. It could also go down to $18 again, $18.79. But unless we get a big correction thing going on, I think we're going to chill around here. I don't even care. This is one of those businesses that I could easily put in my forget me account or my grandpa account, as I call it, and just toss it over there and wait 6 months and then look at it. Wait a year and then look at it. I don't see how this is not going to go up. If I can't look at a business and think of a reason why it would go down, that's usually when I like to buy it and when it's on sale. So it's on a little bit of sale. And I think like that, I like getting in entries. What are we down? Yeah, so it's down like 22% off the all-time highs. So that's fine. I like to get stuff 50% off, but you can't always be so picky in this insane market. You know, if this was a bad time for SPACs, it'd probably be sitting at like $16. Just incredible. I'm super pumped about it. Let me know any other plays y'all want me to take a look at. Any other SPACs that are coming out. I feel like we've got a lot more LOIs coming. I know yesterday was just been crazy. It's been nuts. I can't wait. What's your favorite ticker coming out that you're hoping is going to announce? I'm ready personally for PSTH, Mr. Eyeliner, Mr. Guyliner himself, Mr. Clock. Dude, we're ready. Just let's get over with. I want to know if it's going to be super lame, which I'm thinking it might be, or it's going to be kind of okay. And either or, then I just want to get out and move on. So I'm over it, right? I don't think it's going to be a cool thing. If it is, I'll be blown away, and I'll probably just keep it. But we'll just have to see. It could end up being Denny's or something. I don't know. Just let me know. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. Definitely helps out the channel. Join our Patreon if you want. Get in these plays early. Get y'all information. Join the Patreon. We're doing this due diligence pretty much together now. You know, we're so overwhelmed with so many awesome plays. We're getting picky, but that's great. I'll take it. We'll see y'all out there tomorrow. Take care. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.